What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed with everything that the government does. And by God, the government is doing a lot of stuff right now. And it's a lot of stuff that we don't like. It's a lot of stuff I don't like. Of course, some people, they're just sleepwalking their way right on through the Biden administration. You got the corporate press, the mainstream narrative machine trying to lie to you and say that, oh, the Biden administration is the best administration ever. And they're just doing such a great job. You know, forget all the corruption crap that's going on, all the influence peddling that he's done, all the BS. Forget about the 1994 crime bill that Joe Biden signed into law, right? Like, forget about all these terrible things, right? Forget about student loan repayment. Forget about the 10 million criminal aliens that have come across the border and have destroyed communities. Forget about all that, you know. Forget about sending $113 billion to Ukraine to fund a war and, you know, enabling two countries to kill each other, to genocide each other. You know, forget about all of those things and don't mind your lying eyes that the economy is doing great, y'all. The economy's not bad. You don't have to pay, you know, 20 to 30% more for groceries. You're not paying 50% more for gas. You're not paying a higher electricity bill. Forget all of that. Your eyes are lying to you. Your bills that come in monthly are lying to you. You're not paying more. Wages are going up, y'all. No, they're not going up. And yes, we are having to pay more at the grocery store. Yes, we are having to pay more at the gasoline pump. Yes, Joe Biden is absolutely trying to destroy this country. And if you don't believe me, believe the corporate press. How immigrant workers in U.S. have helped boost job growth and stave off a recession. Yeah, now they're trying to flip it around and say that the criminal alien, the border crisis, has actually kept us from recession, y'all. Right? Forget all the banks that are failing, right? Forget all of that. The economy's doing great. Except for that new inflation report that just came out, and inflation is going back up. How has the economy managed to prosper, adding hundreds of thousands of jobs month after month at a time when the Federal Reserve has aggressively raised interest rates to fight inflation, normally a recipe for recession? Increasingly, the answer appears to be immigrants. Yeah, they're trying to say that all these criminal aliens are a good thing, but I'm about to counter that right fast. The answer appears to be immigrants. The influx of foreign-born adults vastly raised the supply of available workers to U.S. labor shortage and had left many companies unable to fill jobs, right? Now, they're trying to say that right after COVID, when we couldn't get people to go back to work, that's what they're talking about right there. More workers filling more jobs and spending more money has helped drive economic growth and create still more job openings. The availability of immigrant workers eased the pressure on companies to sharply raise wages and then pass on their higher labor costs via prices that feed inflation. Though the U.S. inflation remains elevated, it has plummeted from its levels of 2 years ago. So basically what they're telling you is that, oh, if it wasn't for all the immigrants, we would be in a much worse situation, right? You mean to tell me that the flood of U.S. immigrants has helped the economy? No. It has hurt the economy. They just said it in that damn paragraph right there, right? It's helped stave off wage raises, right? That's why your wages aren't going up, folks, because the damn job market has been flooded with cheap labor. Right? Joe Biden has caused your wages to remain low, right? Like, I haven't had a raise in a long time. I don't know about you guys. Let me know down in the comments when the last time you got a decent raise was, right? But these people, they're trying to lie to you, right? This doesn't work. These people are here illegally and they shouldn't be here at all. Right? Like, I understand migration. I love migration, right? Like, I wish they would expand legal migration. I don't like illegal migration. I don't like these people just coming across the border, right? Because it's not necessarily the migrants that are the problem. It's the fact that the cartels operate with impunity across our southern border. They employ some of these so-called newcomers, right? Some of these people, they employ some of them to run drugs for them, right? Some of these people have to pay the cartels thousands of dollars, right? The cartels have went from just a couple of $1 million a year business to $13 billion a year business. That's what one of the cartels makes, $13 billion a year ever since Joe Biden took office. Yeah, so your president, my president, Joe Biden, has enabled the cartels to expand nearly 1,000% fold. And if anybody out there that's watching this is Gen Z and you wonder why you can't get a decent job, yeah, it's because criminal aliens have came in and taken your job from you, right? Like they're trying to say, oh, this is a good thing. Right? Well, people need jobs. I'm sorry, but they're taking your jobs away from Gen Z and they're giving it to criminal aliens, right? People that shouldn't even be here. That pisses me off to no extent. They're trying to flip this around and call it a good thing, right? Like people need jobs. Gen Z, they're supposed to be coming into their own. They're supposed to be, you know, I think the oldest of Gen Z is their mid-20s, like almost 30, something like that. These people are supposed to be getting into their careers and all this other stuff, but yet they're still sitting at home with their parents playing video games all day, right? Like, because these criminal aliens have taken over the damn job market. It just blows my mind that they're trying to flip this around and say it's a good thing. There's been something of a mystery how we are continuing to get such extraordinary strong job growth with inflation still continuing to come down. But it's not coming down. We just got a new report and inflation went up by like 0.5% or something like that, said Heidi Shierholz, president of the Economic Policy Institute. The immigration numbers being higher than what we had thought, that really does pretty much solve that puzzle. While helping fuel economic growth, immigrants also lie at the heart of an incendiary election year debate over the control of the nation's southern border. In his bid to return to the White House, Donald Trump has vowed to finish building a border wall and to launch the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. Whether he or President Joe Biden wins the election could determine whether the influx of migrants and their key role in propelling the economy will endure. The immigration boom was a surprise. In 2019, the Congressional Budget Office had estimated that net immigration arrivals, minus departures, would equal about 1 million in 2023. The actual number, the CBO said, in a January update was 3.3 million. So, 3.3 million of the 10 million criminal aliens that we have in this country now have jobs. That just blows my mind that Joe Biden would give essentially the inheritance of Gen Z to criminal aliens, to immigrants that have come over here illegally, broken all our laws to get here. Right? Like he's giving our stuff away, right? They're taking up resources. They're giving these people luxury hotel rooms, debit cards with thousands of dollars of your taxpayer dollars on it, right? Like that blows my mind and pisses me off because we have a spending problem in Washington, D.C., folks. In case you didn't know, I say it all the time. They're spending in a $1.7 trillion deficit. That means they're spending $1.7 trillion more than what they take in. So what does that mean? That means higher inflation, essentially. They're having to borrow money, devaluing the dollar. That's the stupidest thing that any government could actually do. And why are we doing this? I have no idea. It seems like they want to destroy the country. It's not helping with everyday costs of everything, right? They may try to lie to you and tell you the economy's doing good while banks are failing. They may try to lie to you and tell you the economy is doing good while you're having to pay, sometimes 30 and 40% more at the grocery store. They may try to lie to you and tell you the economy's doing good when you're sitting here paying 50 to 60% more for gas. They may try to lie to you and tell you the economy's doing great when you're having to pay higher electricity bills, higher water bills, higher gas bills, and all this other stuff, right? Like they're constantly lying, trying to say the economy's good, but nobody believes it, right? Like the stock market's doing okay, sure, But what does that have to do with grocery costs? Nothing whatsoever, right? Like, they still got very high interest rates, so that means we're not growing at all economically, right? We're stagnating. That's the reality of what's going on with the economy. We're not growing. We're not doing great. We're stagnating. We're teetering on the edge of recession, right? Like, it just blows my mind that they're trying to now say that, oh, the reason we haven't gone into a recession is because of all the criminal aliens, right? Like, no. That's BS. The reason we're not in a recession and we're not booming like we were under Trump is because you guys shut down the damn economy for almost a year. Like, what? Like, that's why inflation went stinking out of control. But with their stupid vax mandate BS, you put so many people out of a freaking job, right? And then they turn around and they give those jobs to criminal aliens who aren't vaccinated. It's like, what? That blew my freaking mind, right? Like, that whole vaccine mandate BS, like, a lot of people lost their jobs because of that and had to go look other places, right? And then they turn around and give jobs to criminal aliens, people who aren't even supposed to be here, because their toxic compassion, forced them to do so, right? Like, we don't have to be that compassionate. Why can't we expand legal immigration and let more people come across the border legally instead of just allowing them to commit a crime coming across the border? That's what I don't get. And these people think it's a good thing, y'all. Thousands of employers desperately needed the new arrivals. New arrivals, right? Criminal aliens. The number of native-born Americans in their prime working years, ages 20 to 54, was dropping because so many of them had aged out of that category and were nearing or entering retirement. Their numbers have shrunk by 770,000 since February 2020, just before COVID-19 slammed the economy. No, it didn't slam the economy. That was the government shutting the economy down. See what they're trying to do? Now they're trying to blame the economy shutting down and everything getting all jacked up on middle-aged people, on people aged 25 to 54, right? Like, why that number, right? Because there's a lot of people that are older than 54 that are still in the workforce. Shoot, there's people that are working out all the way up into their 70s. Filling the gap has been a wave of immigrants, right? Taking your jobs away from you. Over the past 4 years, the number of prime-age workers who either have a job or are looking for one has surged by 2.8 million. Nearly all of those newcomers, criminal aliens, 2.7 million, or 96% of them, were born outside of the United States. At the Flood Brothers farm in Maine's dairy capital of Clinton, foreign-born workers make up half the staff of nearly 50, feeding the cows, tending the crops, and helping collect the milk. We cannot do it without them, said Jenny Tilton Flood, a partner in the operation. For every unemployed person in Maine, after all, there are 2 job openings on average. Right? And like, why aren't we trying to entice Gen Z to do some of these jobs? Why aren't we trying to get some of these people, right? Because they don't pay worth a damn and nobody wants them. Because they don't pay worth a damn, because Gen Z is having a crisis right now, right? Like, these people should be starting families, buying houses, but they can't do that. They can't do that at all. Housing costs are way too high. Grocery costs are way too high. You got viral videos constantly of people screaming on TikTok saying, I can't do this. Everything costs too much, right? Like, these people are just, they have shattered the American dream in two. And then they're trying to say, oh, the economy's doing great, y'all. Don't mind your lying eyes. Don't look on TikTok and listen to all these people who are screaming and crying, saying they can't afford milk, they can't afford gas to go to work, right? Like, screw all of that. They're just lying, right? They're just complaining. These people don't know how to run a government, and they are running the damn government. But that's oh God. That's all I got for this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Do y'all think that I'm full of shit and the criminal immigration is actually what's holding the economy up right now? No, I don't believe that for 1 second. Although I do believe that the criminal alien situation is taking away the inheritance of Gen Z. Like I said, I think they're taking jobs away from Americans and putting people in the freaking poorhouse to do so, right? Like keeping wages down. I mean, they even outright admit that, but they're trying to spin it in a good way, right? Like, don't lie to me. Don't try to spin that in a good way, that these flood of cheap workers has kept wages down. That's never a good thing, right? Like, inflation shot way up, and they justify it by saying, it's like they're trying to make a permanent poor class or something like that. It's just what it seems like to me. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section, and that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.